Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening in, and for those online, thank you so much. This is the team we would like to thank Bhumika, Ravichandra, and Bhavana bhi, for building this part. I mean, not the most comfortable piece for any HR, exit and separations, right? When you have onboarding, the reality is you have exit and separations. Now, Ajit did mention that, you need to give a flawless experience when people come on board and stuff like that. I think the same experience needs to be when people decide to leave an organization, right? And a very integral part which HR handles today is exit management. Now, when you look at exit management, it starts with the employee deciding to leave, right? And it is for his manager to convince him, check with him what happens, and then for HR to do a few more activities so that there is a compliance issue in terms of getting the person exited out of the company. So when you look at this module, let us say we look at the employee, right? The employee decides that he's putting a request for resignation, and yeah, that's how the flow is all about. They select a date, they put in a reason as to why they want to exit, right? Using the HRM system that they have. And when they click submit, what happens is this request of exiting goes to the manager. Now let's take a look at the manager. At the manager dashboard, the manager looks at, okay, I have a request from an employee who wants to exit, right? And what they do is he sets up a time for an interview, which is very, very professional. I think you need to speak to people even when they leave to understand the reason for it, or if you could convince them to stay back. So once the manager's done that, he puts a feedback, whether accepting it or rejecting it. So once this is done as a persona from the manager, it goes back finally to HR. In fact, the whole journey starts with HR. So we finally end at HR. So HR has the, I mean, this is the HR view which is there. HR knows that, okay, the employee put in a request for resignation on such and such a day. The manager had an interview, there's a certain feedback, and he has approved it in this case. Now, post that, HR does a review with the employee. There's an exit interview process which is there. There are every organization has their own exit interviews to capture some information, maybe to better up what they can do for employees next. So once they do that, you typically have a template. We can customize this template, and once that is done and accepted, the end date based on the number of days he has asked for or what is pre-arranged, we can configure it because several companies have different exit date. There's a notice period of 30, 60, 50. Sometimes for personal reasons, it could be earlier. So once that is done and HR notifies that there is an end date which is defined, and also there's a list of NOCs that the employee gets to collect before they exit, whether it is in terms of assets or any other details that they have to do. So that is in terms of the exit module. Uh, that's about it. It probably is the shortest of the module, but very important because any growing organization would want to know as to why a certain employee is leaving and what can they do better up in their onboarding process or look at persona. With that, thank you everyone and gratitude to the team. I am certainly looking forward to using this system. I know today is the launch. I'm certainly looking forward to moving from an existing system to this and encourage all of you to take a look at it. And if you have any questions, any queries, highly customizable, do let us know. Get in touch with us. With that, over to Kiran.